Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is David Novak. I would like to read an essay, a very brief essay by the poet Thom Gunn. This is titled Writing a Poem. A few years ago, I found myself preoccupied by certain related concepts I wanted to write about. They arose from matters real and imaginary, so closely tangled with my life that it was impossible, for the time being, to isolate them as a poem. They were a familiar enough association of ideas, it's true. Trust, openness, acceptance, innocence. But I felt them all the more vividly and personally, the more signally I failed to get them into poems. Well, I knew by now that the thing to do was not to strain. I'd just have to go on living with the values, watering them, hardening them, getting them bushy with the detail of experience until their flowering presented itself to me as a given fact. In what sense might you say that innocence can be repossessed? I wondered, and started on yet another sterile poem playing with the figure of a house being repossessed. And if there is one thing innocence is clearly not, it is a house. So at length I put the literary expression out of my mind and either wrote of other things or just let myself go fallow for a while. I forget which. Then one day I was walking on a hill going down to the Pacific, which it met at a narrow, partly sheltered beach. I came to the beach from some bushes and was confronted by a naked family, father, mother, and small son. The son rushed up to me very excited, shouting, hi there," in his shrill voice, and rushed away without waiting for an answer. I walked off and felt happy about the comeliness of the scene. It had, too, a kind of decorum that made my mind return to it several times in the next few hours. I mentioned it to some friends that evening and to others the next day, and the day after that I realized that I wanted to write a poem about the naked family. I didn't know any more than that I wanted to preserve them on paper in the best way I knew, as a kind of super snapshot, getting my feeling for them into my description of them. It wasn't till the poem was finished that I realized I had, among other things, found an embodiment for my haunting cluster of concepts, though I hadn't known it at the time. Looked at one way, idea preceded its embodiment. Looked at another, particulars preceded induction. Neither process excludes the other here, because the process of writing a poem is something more comprehensive than either, and I think, in all seriousness and not as a mere playful metaphor, it is also connected with the processes of magic. It is a reaching out into the unexplained areas of the mind, in which the air is too thickly primitive or too fine for us to live continually. From that reaching, I bring back loot, and don't always know at first what that loot is, except that I hope it is of value as an understanding or as a talisman, or more likely as a combination of the two, of both rational power and irrational. When I saw the naked family, I didn't know why they satisfied me so much, why I had that strange sense of what I have called decorum. Certainly, their appearance was more than a pat embodiment of innocence and its repossession, though, as I have said, I have come to realize that they were that too. But I did know that I had certain clear and strong feelings about them that I wanted to preserve, if possible, by preserving the experience that elicited them. When I came to write the poem, it was all important that I should be true to those feelings, even paradoxically, at the risk of distorting the experience. And so for me, the act of writing is an exploration, a reaching out, an act of trusting search for the correct incantation that will return me certain feelings whenever I want them. And of course, I have never completely succeeded in finding the correct incantations. So that is a essay by the poet Thom Gunn. It's just a very nice probing into the idea of poetic inspiration. Thank you for stopping by my channel.